active citizenship with women's leadership and youth participation, vibrant women and young people's action leading towards responsive governance and fighting injustice. Women, young people, and local civic institutions are empowered change agents who promote active citizenship, gender equity, diversity, and lead to responsive governance. These are some of the major messages OXFAM in Armenia embedded in its strategic objectives of the country program implemented in Armenia. OXFAM believes that the civic engagement of youth and women is the driving force behind change. Active citizens organized in civic institutions, movements, and online can monitor the state and hold government responsive, not only to the needs and demands of civil society, but also to those who are marginalized and poor. Informed and organized youth are able to consolidate social movements to fight inequality, social injustice, and apathy. Maintaining these principles within these two different projects, OXFAM Armenia has established 9 civic centers in Armenia's Civic, Vayats-Dzor, and Tavush regions.
Կենտրոնները ստեղծվել են մոտավորապես 3 տարի առաջ։ Հիմնական նպատակը կենտրոնների նպաստել հարակից մոտ 30 համայնքներում մարդկանց տնտեսական, քաղաքացիական, սոցիալական իրավունքների պաշտպանության։
The Raising Her Voice project, implemented from 2008 to 2011, aimed at strengthening poor women's leadership and networking in 4 civic centers which were set up by the Bridge of Hope NGO in 4 cities within the Tavush region. Civic centers in the cities of Ijevan, Dilijan, Bert, and Noyamberian serve as resource centers for women, youth, and people with disabilities. These civic centers became key focal institutions on the local level to ensure improved interaction between the most marginalized citizens and local governments in these urban communities, as well as neighboring rural communities. Currently, these 4 civic centers continuously work to enhance women's participation in local community councils and have made a meaningful impact on mainstreaming gender equality and social services provision, social protection, and budget allocation decisions. These 4 centers are currently fully operative, well recognized by local governing institutions, and have enhanced capacity and advocacy for increasing the role of impoverished women in public life through meaningful political participation.
They have a role of an institution, so they are providing an entry point for publications, rules and regulations, for people to come and visit, for a legal status, and it's a place where messages about civil society and about the role of citizens in a country can be pushed. I think that's one of the roles it has. It has another role as a focal point for activities and campaigns to take place. We were just looking at a centre there, and we could obviously see that issues which are quite difficult to address by individuals about domestic violence, about divorce, about migration of men, about some quite touchy subjects which is difficult for an individual to talk about openly. Having an institution like the centre can do that. I think that's another role it plays. I think it has a role in mobilising people, and we talked about campaigns that can be done and are being done from these civic centres. It also has an educational role, and we saw how volunteers to the centre, their own lives had been changed, how they viewed their place in society differently from when they first arrived. So it definitely changes the people it touches.
The Raising the Voice of Communities Building Capacities and Commitments project, implemented in 2009 to 2012, aimed at strengthening the capacity of 30 rural communities of Vayats-Dzor and Civic regions to utilize their right of participation, raising national and local governments' commitment to address demands from below. As local level actors, 5 centers were set up by the Foundation Against the Violation of Law NGO in 5 cities of Yergnadzor, Vaik, Sisyan, Merli, and Rapan in the regions of Vayats-Dzor and Civic.
Քաղաքացիական կենտրոնի գաղափարը հիմա առաջացավ ծրագրի թելադրանքներ, որպեսզի կարողանանք սերտ համագործակցության ձևեր գտնել կամ կապ հաստատել տեղական ինքնակառավարման մարմինների եւ հասարակական կազմակերպությունների միջեւ։
Այն քաղաքացիները, որոնք սոցիալապես անապահով են եւ դիմում են մեր կենտրոնին, մեր իրավաբանը իրականացնում է իրավապաշտպան գործունեություն, ընդհանուր մինչեւ դատական պաշտպանություն։ Մենք ունենք կամավորներ, որոնք իրենց գաղափարներով եւ խնդիրների վերհանման ճանապարհով օգնում են, որպեսզի մենք գրենք որոշակի ծրագրեր այդ խնդիրների լուծման համար։
Each of the 9 OXFAM established civic centers are branches of the aforementioned partner organizations, with an average staff of 3 to 4 people and up to 15 volunteers providing specialized legal and community development support, as well as serving as a forum for civic education and discourse. Some of the main functions they carry out include free legal consultations, court representations, legal training and defense of citizens' rights during litigations, support to affiliated communities' development, 2 to 3 villages for each of the 9 centers, by facilitating local government cooperation via joint implementation of community-based micro-projects, providing budget and fundraising support to local government authorities, defending community rights in case of disputes with service providers and private sector, facilitating formation and functioning of initiative groups, civic education for citizens and local NGOs by organizing seminar discussions on various legal regulations and development programs on the job training for volunteers, advocacy and public action in support of pro-poor policy changes and legal reforms.
Ինստիտուցիոնալ առումով կենտրոնները բավականին կազմակերպված են եւ հստակ իրենց ռազմավարությամբ իրականացնում են մարդու իրավունքների պաշտպանության կոնկրետ ծրագրեր, բայց ֆինանսական կայունության առումով բնականաբար ունեն որոշակի մարտահրավերներ եւ կարևորելով դա ես կցանկանայի նաեւ օգտագործել առիթը դիմելու այն դոնորներին, որոնք իսկապես հետաքրքրված են պաշտպանելու եւ բարձրացնելու կառավարության հաշվետվողականությունը, ինչպես նաեւ նպաստելու քաղաքացիական հասարակության կայացմանը մեր երկրում, կցանկանայի, որ դոնորները ավելի ակտիվ լինեն եւ նպաստեն այդ կենտրոնների ֆինանսական եւ ինստիտուցիոնալ կայունացմանը.
In order to maintain their vital mission and continue to serve as an important link between civil society, local government, and national authorities, civic centers are involved in active institutional and other types of fundraising. Staff composed of active youth and women utilize different IT and social media skills, as well as their access to information and new technology to enhance the boundaries of their work, involving more and more people in grassroots development and campaigning work to achieve lasting change in the lives of the poor.
I think one of the achievements it does is it gives young people a vision for the future. It gives young people a way to articulate what the future of Armenia is.